I'm driving, you know what I'm saying, to get a cut. I'm just off work. It's Ron Nate speaking. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe at youtube.com/@TURFN underscore 101. But this one is going to be about the Animaniacs and the Turf Feinz, right? And what started the little rivalry and whatnot. So you got us Animaniacs at the time after we let's go to when we were all architects, right? And that split was about to happen. So a lot of the fiends, some of the fiends were also architects with us. And we were split between like the older cats and the younger cats because younger cats can only do so much. Oh, we older, we can perform at like clubs and other things, right? So when the split was happening, before that, the young cats, we were still young ourselves. We were like 19, 20-ish, but we were very more advanced and we was teaching a lot. I taught at Ruddsdale, you know what I'm saying, Bret Hart, like many other schools when Real kind of put us on. So some of the first fiends I met and knew before the fiends were like the architects' babies, the youngsters, like like Looney, like Flex, literally from Ruddsdale, helping Rail teaching classes, teaching turf dancing at Ruddsdale. So when the architects broke up, when we broke up and became the Animaniacs, and the youngsters, um, they split up and made the Turf Feinz, there was a little animosity because what they felt we did was we grabbed all the older cats, and then we grabbed the favorite youngsters we liked or the best, which is like Corn and DeAndre and them. They were like the top tier youngsters, and we just cut, and that left a salty taste in some of their mouth. And also, while we're labbing and stuff, some of them used to think we were like really hard on them, like we would make fun of them or instead of helping them. But man, we that goes into like it's almost like parenting. It's your style, like what I mean. We were harsh critics. I'm a harsh critic, and some people they can't take criticism, constructive criticism. Well, they take it as destructive criticism, like you're trying to tear them down. So when we split, we cut Animaniacs. So we took Corn, Pam, Giantra at the time, and then we just was like we doing our own thing. So the Fiends split up. The original Fiends, one of the original Fiends was Zach. Zach, I think he started the Fiends, right? But you had Looney and Flex there also. So they already had animosity kind of because we cut and we did from them, and they felt some type of way, like like we should have took like everybody. Maybe they felt we should have took everybody, but the case may be we just took the best youngsters, right? And so literally this is almost like the beginning of where the animosity starts. So boom, now you got architects, animaniacs, you got turf fiends, you got three groups, right? And we are the older group, and we're the more experienced turf dancers. So we got all the jobs, of course. Like we doing the videos, doing everything, and the fiends that they were younger, so they seemed like they always had a thing of we gotta beat them, we gotta get them, we gotta get on them. So this is before Chunky was on the fiends, before G was on the fiends. We talking straight from Zach starting the turf fiends and the early members of the turf fiends. So you got that brewing, and that started brewing for years. So as they started getting older and they adding group members, you got the funk starting to grow, and it's like every chance they get, they want to get us, they want to get on us. That's cool, it's competitive. But what happened was the center in East Oakland, the center, right? We used to throw battles and do things there before the Turf Fiends did. They wanted us to sign a contract, like I said in another video, to where we were obligated to do certain things to the center, and we were tied to the center. Some of us wanted to do it because it seemed like a good opportunity, but not all of us. So we got into our own internal argument, and we not ended up doing it. But one thing that Alice and Buddy was running it at this time, Alice and Buddy was running it. They told us in a meeting, literally, like, "Yo, if y'all don't sign this, we got we got some youngsters who's willing to do whatever we want to do, and they ready to sign right now." They try to kind of strong arm us into signing this contract to the center, but we're older. You know what I'm saying? I think at that time I'm 20 at that time, and I'm one of the youngest of the older niggas. If I'm 20, Shiny Ball might be 24, Shep might be 21, about to be 22, Dav the same thing, And so we like, now we cool. And then what happened was the center basically booted us out. They all of a sudden we stopped throwing battles and events there. They picked up the young group that they was talking about. We already knew who they was talking about in this meeting, and it was the Fiends. So they start promoting the Turf Fiends, picking them up at the center, having them throw battles and doing a lot because they purposely were trying to pump them up to be like some type of vengeance towards us. But the Turf Fiends already had a little bit of history with that because of the split. So the rivalry started from before that, but the center amplified that shit. And so even to this, not to this day, because the Animaniacs and the Turf Fiends are group change, but a lot of people don't know that that shit was planted, you know, and they were young, so they don't understand. They don't even know about that meeting, you know what I'm saying, that we all had when they weren't even there. But they were being used as like a plot and a ploy to try to make us sign this deal that niggas didn't want to sign. And so boom, they took off. They started having the Fiends at the center, and the Fiends became the premier group at the center, all because we wasn't trying to do what they wanted to do. You know, we wanted more answers, we wanted more clarity in what we're about to sign, and it just didn't fit right with everybody. And so, bam, there you go. So those are two explosive things that made that Turf Fiends Animaniacs thing. It started off as some Big Brother shit, like, oh, y'all not trying to help us, y'all be clowning us instead, making jokes and shit. But then it turns in something else, you know. And that's just like the icing on the cake. That's the beginning, actually, of this shit. And through the years, Turf Fiends, you add more members. At one time, like this is like I said before G, this is before Chunky, and all of them when this was a corn. Oh, you're still on the fastest route. Yeah, this was before. Okay, I'm still gonna get there. This is before all that. Um, Not to say the Turf Fiends didn't, as a group, impact the culture as they had. Of course they did, and you know they're responsible for where they are now. But in the beginnings, a lot of people wonder why it was so much Animaniacs, Turf Fiends, Animaniacs, Turf Fiends. It was from them two things. It was from them feeling some type of way of us being OGs and older, and maybe not leading right, which I can agree with them. But we were also young adults, and then the center pumping them against us as like the thing to do as adults, causing division between youngsters. It was really grimy and it was really messy what the adults were doing, older adults, because like I said, we're like 19 and 20 at the time, you know, and we're teaching, going around trying to spread the culture and get money, and you got these adults trying to use and manipulate two different groups of young people, you know. That I don't know who runs the center now, but back then that was the energy of the center, and it was like it's really fucked up, and they really like threw a bone into the culture that, you know, got things kind of bad. But I just wanted to share that. That's my spiel, man. I got stories to tell. I'm just gonna go live and tell some of these stories from here and there, but man, that's what was like the beginning of the Turf Fiends and the Maniacs kind of like funk. And I mean, there's individual stories in between that, but shit just happens, man. But this is Turfing 101. Follow me, follow the channel. This is Raw Nay. It's at TURFN _101. I got way more stories to tell, man.